7:35 p.m. Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided in accordance with section 3B of chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, commonly known as the Sunshine Law. Roll call.
Palmer.
Here.
Jose Reyes.
Here.
Judy Nelson. Here. Ken Chalet.
Here.
Grace Ann Kelly. Here. Philip Bellin. Ryan Messinger.
Here.
Jose Maderos.
Here.
Brad Nelson.
Here.
Jeff Coletti.
Present.
Steve DiLorenzo.
Here.
Daniel McDonald.
Here.
Scott Wilhelm.
Present.
Tom Decker.
Here. Please rise to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which is one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Remember the pledge of allegiance rule.
It doesn't matter.
We are standing rules next year.
I need a motion to open the public for agenda comments.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Public comments about agenda items? Anybody on Zoom? Get the motion closed.
So moved.
Second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. We have, EM Realty, lot 21, lot 1, completed determination. Who is here representing EM Realty?
Hi, good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, my name is Mark Peck. I'm here on behalf of the applicant EM Realty Group LLC. We filed an application for preliminary and final site plan approval with use variance relief for property located at 1005 to 1011 Route 173, which is lot 1 and block 21. It's a 5.84 acre lot in your general commercial or GC zone district, but we're here tonight only for the completeness determination. And we've received and reviewed Mr. Decker's August 8th completeness review. So we're prepared to go over, each item in the same. We have Mr. Kelly Osuch. He's our engineer from AKRF. He prepared the plans. And we also have Mr. Michael Marino from EM Realty, in case you have any questions for him. So without any further ado, I'd like to call up Kelly.
Okay, we're not doing, let's first go after, we're gonna go with Tom's report first. I'd like Tom to first speak about it.
Great.
I know that you added some documents after everything was already sent to our board members, so.
That is correct.
So I want Tom to go over everything with him, and then we can move forward as far as that goes.
The application, Mr. Peck said, is for they've applied for preliminary and final site plan and use variance for non-permitted uses of the zone. The permitted uses will be residential, existing wells that are there. We did a review, completeness review, issued a letter on August 8th. We have received some items that were listed in my letter as being deficient, and those would be well, actually, I'll just go through my checklist item. So for the preliminary major site plan checklist, item number 5 was certification from the township tax collector. I haven't seen anything. I don't know if it was submitted.
Yeah, my client advises that the township cashed a check last Wednesday, the 6th for, was it $4,800, something like that? But it's not being reflected in the system. So it's something we'll work out, and understood we need that, certainly in advance of any hearing, but we think that's been satisfied. Subject to getting the cert.
Item number 7, environmental impact statement. The only thing that was missing was CP for Mr. Osuch. That was emailed out, I believe, shortly after my letter. So that's complete. Location dimensions of existing proposed bridges, location of natural features such as wooded areas, vending extensive rock formations, both within the tract and within 200 feet. The applicant had requested a partial waiver for not showing features within 200 feet, stating there exists no such features or areas within 200 feet of subject property. But there is a railroad crossing right at the property corner. These are things that I think could be shown through aerial photography. Similar to the exhibit in my report.
And we'll submit that, no problem.
Size, height, and location of all proposed building structure, signs, and lighting features. As I understand, there's no signs being proposed, at least there were none of the plans. But as far as building, there were no architectural elevations, right?
And we'll get you elevations and the dimensional.
And that's, so we can confirm building heights, all that.
Correct.
Just as a precursor, you probably want to know the building height is distinct, built on the site, so. Item number 32, location and design of any off-street parking areas. Applicant requests a waiver stating that the project is not required and does not propose to construct any off-street parking areas. What needs to happen is you may not be expanding what's there, but you need to delineate how that parking is going to occur.
Yeah, and Mr. Decker, if I may, I just want to ask kind of a clarification on what you're gonna look for.
Right, I don't know who you are.
So you can identify yourself and.
Well, no, we're not swearing, it's not that, we're just making comments, just your name and what.
Kelly Osuch, O''SUCH, with AKRF. I prepared the plans as a professional engineer for the engineer of record on the application. Mr. Decker, what I was gonna ask you is, on the layout, I think the applicant's gonna ask for design waivers as far as delineating all of the proposed, or all of the existing and proposed parking with the exception of the ADA stall. We understand that needs to be delineated, marked, with a hard surface that's ADA compliant.
Right.
But the rest of the parking on site, they would like to remain as is with undelineated. So you're just, I guess the clarification I'm asking for is, you just want to have a breakdown that there's enough area on site for the use of the parking?
What we're gonna need to review is, there was really no, and it's later on in my letter, there was really no narrative or description of what the business is. So it's very difficult from our standpoint to review and advise the board up front with, is there adequate storage, loading areas, parking areas, ADA, based on the use of the building, are there offices in the building? So forth. So that's really what we're looking for.
Okay.
Okay. Item 34G is maintenance repair for the stormwater management facility, O&M manual. I'm okay if you want to do that, waive that for completeness purposes, because you may need to tweak that depending on the review of the stormwater management. So, so I'm okay. Item number 35, location of existing utility structures. Again, we have no objection to granting a waiver for that. There's, whatever utilities you have on site, I believe you have some separate disposal areas and everything else is pretty much within utilities. Item number 42, development occurs within the Carbon Rock District. That required the submission of phase 1 checklist, and that was also provided on Friday. That item has been satisfied. The aquifer test and analysis. Again, we have no objection to granting that waiver for completeness purposes. However, the board will certainly reserve this right to, if concerns arise with regards to, obviously there's a well out there now. Once we get into testimony as far as use and so forth. Application must show compliance with the requirements of the growth share ordinance. Again, that would be something that I recommend deeming complete, or granting a waiver for these purposes. Cool. And we have the final major site plan. Some of these things will be repetitive. Item 6 also refers to the certification from tax collector, GAP, SHAP, and said they will obtain. Item 11 also discusses architectural drawings, which was addressed. Item 13, typically a final site plan is, it was originally designed so that the final site plan would be after everything was constructed. They come up with as-built demonstrating that they built everything. They do have the option to do final both. It reduces their approval time, the duration of their permit, but it certainly is something common. So no objection. Granted. And then I had some additional information just as we were going through the application, not necessarily on the checklist, but is in the ordinance. We're also helpful to review. The Highlands exemption, you need to have your exemption in place before you're deemed complete. That's in the township ordinance. I think what was submitted on Friday was the Highlands exemption application.
Right. And I believe you're empowered to make that
You're
determination.
looking for, I believe, exemption 5. Yeah, 5
To
to
125%.
125%, which I think that's one of the exemptions that I am certified to do on behalf of this power. And typically, if we run into any issues with that or disagreement, it's sent it to the Highlands to have them determined.
Did you address items, checklist item 17? The gross share ordinance?
That was a repeat.
It was a repeat. Number 44.
That's under 44 prior.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm sorry, that one, yeah, it was a repeat.
all right.
The second item that I have is probably more critical. And that is that there exists a dwelling, a one-story frame dwelling that actually straddles the property line. And one attorney can address that better, but it's our feeling that because one of the variants that's being asked for is residential use in the zone. And what is suggested on the plans is that they would take care of that as a condition of any approval. And I think what the town's position is to be is that the fate of that building needs to be decided now for any approval, because that would be subject to the variances. And also because it does straddle the property line, that would bring the adjacent property owner into the application as well. So they would have to be brought in as an applicant, owner certification, all that stuff. There's basically two ways that I see that the house is remedied. One is it's demolished, it's no longer an issue, or two, they do a lot line adjustment. And with the lot line adjustment, they'd also have to amend their application to include a lot line adjustment, and it still brings in the deal. So that, I think, is probably out of all the items that I discussed, is probably the more challenging.
It's a tricky one. Yeah, and I will just note, these are all existing structures and uses on the property.
So the reason why this application is here is to try to clean up the multiple uses on the property. I understand the applicant wants to continue with commercial operation. And then the last comment I had was a narrative, what.
Right, well, we'll get that. They do the directional drilling contractor for utilities and such, but we'll get a narrative statement soon.
So with that said, our recommendation is that the application be deemed completed this time.
Yeah, no, and we understand that, and we always knew that certainly the property line straddling building, we knew that was gonna be trouble. So we're hoping we can get this stuff cleaned up. I think September is probably a reach with, the materials we have to prepare, but we're hoping we can get, back here for a determination and a hearing, possibly in October, if we can bring this in, so.
I think it would be up to the board, in order just to be aware that the board typically, they'll act on completeness.
Right.
Once it's deemed complete, they will schedule a site visit.
Uh,
I think that's the practice, correct?
So I mean, it's
Okay.
basically your following Saturday past that meeting, which is deemed complete.
okay.
I think it'll go pretty fast once it's done.
Yeah, no, however, the board wants to work it. But yeah, but that's sort of my expectation would be, October, get the stuff in, because I just don't know that we can get it in time for Mr. Decker to review in the next.
All right, Scott, is there anything that you want to add to this? Scott, are you frozen?
Oh, yeah, no, Mark, what's your position on the lot line adjustment?
We'll have to
'Cause that-
discuss with the client. That's actually an option that I had discussed when we were kicking around what to do about this was, hey, maybe do like a land swap, bust off the house. Because I believe my client owns the house and they're the ones who rent it out and whatnot. So, but we have to figure that out and clearly have to bring the adjoining property owner in, because he's gonna have to, they're gonna have to be on board with whatever we want to do, so.
I tend to agree with Mr. Decker's assessment. That's kind of the first thing that needs to be done, because you would need to amend the application. And so I think that everything else you're going to be able to address relatively easily. But I think we need to know first, are you doing a minor subdivision for a lot line?
Yep, understood.
So, Mark, it looks like they're going to deem it incomplete, and then you have a time frame to resubmit. You think you're going to be okay?
I think so. That's why I mentioned October is probably more realistic, just, especially dealing with, coming to some sort of understanding with the neighbor and then having, if we are doing a lot line adjustment or subdivision, you have to have the plans drawn up and,
Mm-hmm.
that's why I think, October is kind of what I'm thinking. I mean, lightning might strike and we might be asking to be back here for a completeness determination in September. But realistically, I'm thinking it's probably October.
All right. So I guess the ball's in your court to, let us know what you're doing.
Yep.
And I would also suggest we need to keep the zoning officer apprised, because this was a reason of complaints, and
Okay.
so she needs to be kept apprised, because there's a deadline to get any initial submission, so we don't want this to linger.
Got it.
All right, and then also if Tom is gonna do your Highlands clearance, you have to send a check into the town for his $200.
Okay.
So that's taken care of.
We'll do. Yes.
Good.
Yeah, we were just wondering if we should ask at least to have some of the waivers that were recommended. We should get those voted on and at least clean things up. So we have a few, but I think we can wait.
Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna help. I mean, based on the comments tonight, I think it's either where he's at.
Yeah, because what will happen is when you submit the next revision, I'll do an updated completeness report. The things that have been submitted will fall off the list. The other things will just, that's it. Approving the.
And if there is problems, get it to him the early part of the month, not the couple days prior to our meeting.
Yeah, no, understood. We aim to get the stuff
Make the changes at the meeting, the changes made, we could vote on.
Mr. Osuch knows what.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate your time.
Need a motion to deem this incomplete? Do you need a motion to deem this incomplete?
Second.
Motion.
And second, any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes. Abstentions?
Thank you.
Nice here.
Come here. You want to come here? Over here. Over here. Over here. Over here. Come on. Come
Make a motion to open the public comment.
So second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Yes, Barbara.
Barbara Cochran, 507 Charlestown Road. I do have a question for Mr. Decker. So is this going to be submitting a HPAA or a HAD for this particular?
This would be for an exemption 5.
Exception 5, that's big
Exemption-
residential.
Exemption 5, what exemption 5 allows is, it allows for 125% of the existing impervious coverage, the impervious coverage that existed in 2000.
Exemption 4,
Maybe that's 4.
it's 4. Exemption 5 is,
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right, yes, exemption 4.
yeah, I was just curious because it is in the preservation area, right?
Right.
So it has to go through also the Highland Preservation AA,
Not necessarily.
not,
No, if they qualify for exemption 4, which I'm.
so it's only half.
I think that-
Okay, I get it.
If they need it, if they don't.
And why? Why we're never getting, I don't understand, but this is my problem. It's fine. Ooh, somebody left a chewing gum. I grew it.
Literally just stepped in chewing gum.
Yeah. But I didn't have it before. Then I have another question. I didn't get, what is the activity of this
Yeah.
commercial?
That was one of the questions that I asked them, is that we had no narrative, what exactly they did. He said that they do, directional, yeah.
Sorry?
Directional drilling, but we don't know what that means.
Direction.
Yeah.
We don't know if they make directional drills or if they do directional drilling, they haven't.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the other reason.
That's
We had
it.
no
Thank
idea. You know,
The bees. It's still there somewhere.
All right. Any other comments?
I have questions on that site, but should I wait for?
Yeah, we're not, there's no specific comments or questions, just general comments. Anybody else? No? Anybody on Zoom? Nothing?
Make motion to close public comment.
Second.
Those in favor?
Aye.
All right. We have the July 14th, 2025 meeting minutes.
Mark, on the reports to the board, the chairperson discussed how the mayor of Bloomberg. Right?
No Bloomsbury.
No, it wasn't here, remember?
I'm missing the last page. Anything else?
Come back.
Somebody only put it on one page.
You got it. Richard?
4 pages.
The last page, you can say reports to the board, it's on the back of,
Did everybody get it?
or is it blank?
Are they double page?
I have everything, okay?
Yeah.
Got it on.
It's just
Nice to meet you. See you.
Huh?
It was completed on the internet, so. I'll refer to it.
Just make
stuff. I don't think I can put it in writing.
Oh, good.
Make a motion to accept the minutes of July 14, 2025, with the one correction of, Bloomsbury.
Oh, second.
I can take a second and further discussion. Roll
Were the units?
Did I hear you saying all the time?
Palmer,
Yes.
Jose Reyes,
I have a question about it. We lost, the web and, we didn't get report to the board or the executive session. We have everything, before that. So saying that, yes, I agree. I accept the.
You must have had the same problem.
We lost Zoom too. The power went,
Oh.
it dropped Zoom and you weren't getting back.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So it's a call again saying.
No, so, good.
so that's.
I would say
So
stay.
then me too.
Yeah,
then.
stay.
I can only book two whenever I want.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's true.
all right, Judy Nelson,
Yes.
Ken Shalay,
yeah.
Grace Ann Kelly.
Abstaining, but somebody else make, the motion.
Yeah, somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
Somebody's got to.
I'll make a motion to accept.
I'll second it.
This is my role.
Hey, I knew something bad.
Go, ESP. That's true.
Okay. Sorry. Ryan Methinger,
Abstain.
Jose Maderos,
Yes.
Brad Nelson,
Yes.
Jeff Coletti,
Abstain. I was on Zoom as well.
Can you hear me, Jeff?
Yes, did you hear me? I abstained because I was on Zoom.
Yeah, I think that they might be having technical issues.
We got it. We heard
Okay.
Not necessarily land use related, but there's a Netflix television show called Military Makeover, so sort of land use related because they need permits. But we have a family here in Bethlehem Township that's having their home updated as part of the show. It's the Military Makeover with Montel Williams. It's its 44th episode or season. So there's a kickoff, August 29th. There'll be a press release going out. It will be looking for volunteers. So if anybody would like to help volunteer, they need about 70 volunteers. They're going to be renovating the kitchen, bathrooms, some other issues within, I believe, 9 days. If you can get the state construction office to actually make those inspections. We're sure working. Our zoning officer will handle the permits rather quickly, but is the Lynn family and Mr. Lynn served in active combat, seen some significant combat in the Middle East, and is now in emergency room. Trauma nurse and Robert Johnson's wife was also a nurse, I believe. The 3 children here in Bethel Township just found out expecting a fourth while this is all going on, so that should be exciting. So I think I'll get the date when they're finally ready for the house, but I don't kick off this August 29th, especially this happened. And completely unrelated, but we still need volunteers. The Hunter Games, August 23rd. Anybody likes to eat hot dogs, spell, run, throw, or whatever you can do, please come on out and join us for some fun. Any questions? Is there a matter place? There's nothing. There's a lot of state bills threatening affordable housing, state health benefits, all kinds of things that we're managing, but there you go. Any questions for me at this time? I feel free to reach out.
I'm good. I just want to reiterate, because I was on Zoom for the committee meeting last Thursday. Members of the public do need to come up to the microphone. Standing back there just won't work, although Charlie, you did a good job on Thursday. I commend you. You came up. And try not to talk over each other. It's really hard to discern the information on Zoom. I try not to join by Zoom very often. I'm generally here, but Thursday there was just some things that I had to do. And try to enunciate. I have a loud voice by nature, but some of us don't. So try to be aware, especially, we don't have members of the public tonight, but we have other board members, but, if there are members of the public, try to be cognizant of that. Because it was a little difficult for me on Thursday. That's it. I'm sorry.
We'll do my best.
You better. And speak up.
But I tell the truth, that's good, don't worry.
Another part though, for the township committee meetings, is especially whoever
Where-
did it at the end of either. end,
Yes,
if
yeah.
here, or you can almost never hear what they say on Zoom.
Yeah.
It's a jumbled a lot, like it all becomes a jumble.
And Al's so far away from there that like the mic just doesn't pick up people on the ends.
And it was funny, it was kind of funny, and I have to pick on Charlie because I'm not exactly sure how the camera picks and chooses what it focuses on. It's supposed to be when we're speaking, but when Charlie came in, the other night, it literally followed him from the door to where he's basically sitting now, and I'm like, but people are speaking up here. So it was a little weird why it focused.
He looks like a squirrel.
I get, yeah.
It does recognize people.
Yeah, I don't know, because I was kind of cracking up in the background, but yeah. So I just wanted to kind of have that as some housekeeping rules from my own experience last week.
Right, Monica?
I got a question. So there's a house on Blackbrook Road that I'm not sure if it's a farm or what it is. They have 5 paved driveways that go into this property. They just basically put in a circular driveway that has 2 entrances, again paved. I don't know whether or not.
Yeah, there's a limit on the number of driveways that you can have from this forward.
Right, because we're responsible for all the aprons on those driveways, right?
If we're resurfacing the road, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we usually come back and fix the aprons. Are they new?
Brand new.
Brand new.
They're all brand new.
Can you forward so that we share with the zoning officer, but there was some confusion of what the actual house number that was, if you can share the house number.
Okay, I'll try and find that, yeah.
Because I know the zoning officer did reach out to me about driveway permits, but she didn't specify what property.
Right.
So this may be.
Okay, I'll try and get the number.
Yeah, there's been active conversations about, farm properties, farmland properties, and what they can and can't do, outside permitting. So there's been a few different instances. So structures, building structures, so.
We're also, just so you know, we're also running into issues in the county with woodland management plans where, you know, you're allowed to put in a woodland management roadway to go in, but it's still subject to, if you're putting in a stone driveway that wasn't one before, then you put in more than a quarter of an acre of impervious, you're still subject to stormwater management. The Elks woodland management law. So, just something to keep in mind.
Okay. Any board members have anything, questions, concerns? Right, there will be a subcommittee meeting, actually, after this application is being complete. The site committee. All right, Scott, anything?
No.
The motion to adjourn?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, good night, everybody, thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Even this year?